Brother, why does North Carolina have to be like this? 3 weeks ago, it was sunny and 75, and today, it's like 35 degrees and freezing out here. What is going on, everybody? My name is Seth, and you're watching 252 Squad. And in today's video, we are back with our 2003 Mustang GT, one that was abandoned for a couple of years. We restored it on the channel, built it to where it is today. And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to properly modify your 99 to 04 Mustang GT New Edge. So let's go ahead and get into it. Go ahead and take those racing stripes and those bullet wheels out of your shopping cart on American Muscle, and let me teach you how to do it the right way. Now, honestly, this probably goes without saying, but honestly, everything I talk about is all my personal preference and my opinion. You build your car how you want to. Don't ever build it for anybody else but yourself. But I just want to give you some ground rules and things that I believe you should think about when you're building your new Edge Mustang GT. So, without further ado, let's get into the list. And starting off number one, I kind of joked about it in the beginning, and that is wheels. Man, these cars always need wheels. These things came with some pretty bad options from the factory, in my personal opinion, minus like the Cobra wheels or stuff like that. But I don't think they came with very good factory wheels. You can argue with me down in the comments below. But wheel choice, man, you have got to do that right when it comes to these new Edges. There are a lot of things that go into making these look good, but the wheels themselves are one of the biggest factors. This car is on 18-inch SVE FR500 reps. I know it's pretty common, but they hit every single time. Things like that work. Now your bullet wheels, how I joked about in the intro. There's nothing wrong with them if they're on a bullet. But if they're not on a bullet, I'm just saying, they're overused and they're kind of tacky. I don't personally like them that much. Like I said, build your own car, but I think the bullet wheels are overused. I think the best wheels to go with are just what makes you happy, but normally on these cars, a 17 or an 18 fit the absolute best. These are actually 18 by 9 in the front, and I think 18 by 10.5 in the rear. So pretty wide wheel. You can fit some pretty good tires. You can fit up to like a 305 on the back pretty easily if you remove the quad shocks. This car has a 275 or a 285 on the rear and a 275 in the front. Fits great. For my next point about building these cars, you need to lower them down a little bit. These things come with some massive monster truck ride height from the factory, and honestly, this car's on coilovers, which I will have to say, if you're gonna do coilovers on your new Edge, go with a nice set. Do not cheap out like me. There have been multiple cars that I've owned and cheaped out on coilovers, and it worked just fine. But for me personally, these Rev 9s are not doing the trick. Sean actually had a set of Petters on his 98 Cobra, and they worked so much better than these Rev 9s do. I can't express, get good coilovers, and if you're not gonna go coilovers, get some good struts, go ahead and get some good lowering springs. The iBox work really good and they don't hurt the bank too much. So I will have to say, for lowering these cars, lower them right the first time. Do not worry about doing the cheap stuff. Go ahead and get some good lowering springs or good coilovers on these things. Drop them down, it will change the look drastically because man, these things come with some massive gap from the factory. Moving on even further, doing an exhaust on one of these cars is one of the most rewarding things you can do right off the rip. The exhaust system on these things are very, very quiet from the factory. They come with a bunch of cats and mufflers and resonators and da-da-da-da-da. The best thing you can do, especially if it's a GT, any 4.6 car, is go ahead and delete all the stuff up there, if you catch my drift, and go ahead and put a good muffler on the car. This car has an off-road H-pipe and then Flowmaster 40s, and it sounds absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. I love the way this car sounds. These cars sound good pretty much no matter what you do, but I will have to say a good exhaust setup will make the driving experience way more enjoyable on these cars. It should be one of the first things you cross off on the list when you get a new Edge Mustang. Now, above all, when building a new Edge Mustang, I think one of the main things you should focus on is overall maintenance of these cars. All of these cars are well past 20 years old at this point, and that means they need to be properly maintained. These cars, the 4.6s, are dead reliable if maintained properly, doing proper oil changes and just simple things. These cars don't have that many issues. Now, there are a few things that you should look out for, but it's not too bad when it comes to owning these cars. And honestly, maintenance should be done. Just check your brakes, check all your suspension. All these bushings probably need to be replaced in these cars, especially if you have a Cobra or something with IRS. Those go bad very, very quickly. They cost a lot to replace and they're kind of labor intensive, but trust me, it is well worth it. This car went through, we did it on the channel when we rebuilt it. We replaced all the bushings with polyurethane bushings and some of the control arms, ball joints with Cedar ball joints. All that stuff changed the way this car handles. It now handles like it is absolutely on rails for being a straight axle car, and it is one of the first things you should do, and that is just doing overall maintenance, because the last thing you want to do when you build a car is have it leave you stranded on the side of the road as soon as you get done and are going to go show it off. Now, honestly, this is probably going to be the most controversial topic, is the overall exterior of these cars. Now, there's a lot of ways to build a New Edge Mustang exterior-wise goes, and honestly, for me, I like the way that we have this New Edge set up here with the darker aesthetics. We have the SVE front swap with the dark housing headlights, Mach 1 grille, Mach 1 chin splitter. It just works. It almost works on any color combo of the New Edge Mustang. I have actually gone to prefer the no spoiler look. I don't actually care that much for spoilers on Mustangs. All my S197s have the GT500 duckbill, and honestly, I think just a simple approach like this works really, really well for these cars. Now, I am not against, on drift cars and stuff, these crazy body kits that make them kind of look like Nissan Silvias, with crazy camber and all this crazy stuff. I actually don't hate that too much. I think they look really good. They're pretty unique still in the Mustang world, because a lot of them don't look like that, and a lot of people hate the way they look. And I honestly kind of disagree. I think it's cool and it's unique. But if you're going to build one of these cars, I will have to say, please, please, please refrain from using racing stripes and louvers. Your base model V6 does not need racing stripes. It is not a Shelby. And God, you need to leave the louvers in the 70s. They look better on classic cars. And honestly, I don't think they fit the round, bubbly body of the New Edge. I see them on a lot of cars, a bunch of louvers everywhere, and even more drastic stuck-on vents. None of these vents on these cars are functional, even from the factory. You just need to leave that be. Like, if your car didn't come with a vent, don't put a vent on it. It doesn't need it. If you didn't come with a vent, if you got like the 99s and stuff with the small one, like, there's really no need to like go drastic with it. The louvers on the back glass, they don't need to be there. It looks better without. Trust me. The one thing I will have to say, clear tails. I like clear tails. I'm a clear tail person. Don't need to be on the New Edges. I don't like them on New Edges at all whatsoever. Ambers I can get behind, but they're way too expensive and they don't change the look of your car that much. So ambers I would also stay away from if you're a broke boy status like me. Maybe it's because I'm poor and that's why I'm talking bad about them, but ambers do look good. They just cost way too much money for me to personally justify putting them on pretty much any car that they didn't come with. Now, when building a New Edge Mustang, one of the biggest things a lot of people probably want to do is interior work, and that is because, like I said, these cars are 20 plus years old and the interior is very dated, but I will have to say, I think it is very of the era. They give a good feeling in this interior. There's not a lot I would change. This is a GT Premium car, has pretty much every option possible. So we have the billet pedals and the shifter and all that stuff. Sean's Cobra actually had all the billet stuff from UPR. I like that a lot. It kind of goes well with the era because these cars kind of came from, you know, your polished and your chrome era. I think it looks good. I mean, of course, you can't really do much. A lot of these plastics tend to crack and warp with heat and time and everything like that. So honestly, when building a New Edge, I think the best thing you can do is just refresh the car. Maybe put some LED lights in here. Maybe change some of the chromes and the polish that are scratched. We got to fix this seat on this car because it's ripped, of course. That's something I would definitely look at doing pretty early on in a build to make the car feel better. Now, sound system wise, if you have a Mach sound system, you're pretty set. This car is a Mach 1000 car, so it has the subs in the back and everything like that. There is nothing I could touch on this car, pretty much sound wise, to make it sound better and work better. I love the way this car sounds in the inside. It has a great sound system from the factory. The only thing it is missing is Bluetooth, and I fixed that with just a simple Amazon adapter. But overall, I don't think there's very much to do to the inside of these cars. If you're gonna track it a lot, bucket seats are probably a big thing. These seats do not fit well. Of course, you can see we've gone down the tail of the Dragon with this car. These seats do not hold you in place whatsoever. One of the other big things is a short throw if you have a manual car. These stock shifters, God, they are terrible. They go, your hand almost hits the dash every single shift. Short throw is almost an absolute instant must on these transmissions. If you have the manual trans, if you have the auto, it really doesn't matter that much. The auto cars, the 4R70s, you know, you just put in drive or whatever. You could put, I guess, a ratchet shifter in there if you're drag racing the car primarily, but on the street, you don't really need to do anything. But yeah, I would definitely say a shifter, if you have a manual car, needs to be a must, a quick must to do on these cars. But yeah, these things are honestly really good cars. Super underrated. A lot of people say they need a lot more power. We haven't done anything really power-wise with this car just yet, but a good little blower on the 4.6 2-valve does do a lot for it. Whether it be Key-Bell, Paxton, or ProCharger, or Vortec, whatever type of blower you want to go, Century or Roots. Also, On3 single kits are pretty cheap for these cars, as well as just your normal twin kits. It's really cheap to turbo these cars, but I personally kind of like the supercharged method more on the 4.6s. I feel like that's just the more muscly way to go, is a good old blower. But like I said, I can't speak on boost on this thing because we haven't boosted it. You do have a Cobra, the Termes, man, there's not much you need to do. A pulley, some headers, some E85, and that thing is ripping. Or you go bigger. I know one that has a Whipple crusher on it. That thing makes 750 wheel on stock motor, and it is an absolute riot to drive. So if you got a Cobra, you're pretty set. These things, as far as they go, though, are pretty reliable cars. Like I said earlier, the 4.6 is just almost indestructible if you treat them right. And the 3.8s and the V6 chassis cars are also very, very strong as well. I just personally say, if you don't have a V8, you need a V8. But yeah, these are very solid overall cars, man. They are some of the most fun bang for buck cars you can probably buy on the market right now. And with very, very minimal, I mean, we built this car in roughly 6 months. You can see how freaking good it just looks. It drives great. Like I said, we took it to the Tail of the Dragon. We've driven it to Tennessee and back for Ponies and the Smokies. We've driven it to Myrtle Beach and back for Mustang Week. And it's just an absolutely phenomenal car. You could daily it, you can race it, and you can have fun with these cars almost on any occasion. I'm probably gonna drive it home right now in the rain. It's gonna do just fine on these NT555 G2s. But overall, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video, talking about how to properly build your new Edge Mustang GT. If you have anything you wanna talk about in the comments section, comment it down, or if you wanna go talk even further, follow my Instagram. We can DM back and forth. I can teach you a little bit more. Just this was a simple, brief overview video. I'll bring another video out breaking it down a little bit more in depth of what parts I would use as a top 5 first mods for your new Edge Mustang. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I thank you so much for clicking on the video and watching the whole way through. If you're here at this point, make sure to comment down below and let me know. But yeah, guys, I hope you have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace out, and I will see y'all in the next one.